Hi!
I'm Brittany.
I'm Brad.
And we are AudioShelf.
Before we start, make sure to click that red button down below to subscribe.
And also click that little bell so you can be alerted whenever we release a new episode.
I'm so excited! I'm so excited! So excited!
Oh
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're done.
Yeah, we're done. Goodbye.
Bye.
Just kidding.
Oh my god! So we're so excited to review
So excited.
this book by our girl, Kimberly Belle. Hey, Kimberly!
Hi.
So this book is called Dear Wife, and it was actually given to us or sent to us by Kimberly Belle herself.
Yes.
So thank you, Miss Belle, for sending us a copy of an ARC for Dear Wife.
Yes, and she signed the front cover of it for us and just said, like, with all the gratitude in the world. We're just so appreciative of her and all of the people that we have met through this booktube journey and just the podcasting journey as
Yes.
well. Like, that's where we first got introduced to Kimberly through listening to The Marriage Lie, which honestly was just a random purchase.
Random.
After hearing really good things about it and just being like, that looks good.
Mm-hmm.
We'll do that.
Yeah.
And then I listened to it on a bus up to New York, and the rest is history.
Yes. And now it's becoming a TV show.
Yeah,
So
which is crazy and to be the best TV show in the world.
it really is.
If you have not read or listened to The Marriage Lie, please pick it up. But first, you should be pre-ordering Dear Wife, which comes out on June 25th. So, in just a few days.
It's literally in a few days.
At
And
the time of this release.
I was so nervous because I was like, are we going to get this out before it gets released? It took me like a week or two to read it just because of other things going on. Brittany read it in a day.
I got a little excited.
She read it in one day. And I was like, okay, well, let's record.
Yeah, it seriously is a book that hooks you in. It gets its little lady wife talons all in ya, and then you can't put it down.
Yes.
Unless you have a normal schedule, like a normal person like Brad does. I stay up way too late, but I get Dear Wife done.
Mm-hmm. So let's talk about the hook for the book.
Yes. So this book is a domestic suspense.
Mm-hmm.
It is women's fiction, and it also deals with quite a bit of domestic violence. So it is a topic that I feel we still should be talking about today and just bringing awareness to.
Mm-hmm. Violence against women is not okay, and this book tells you that.
Really not okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's an interesting kind of storytelling aspect to it where you get to see the lives of three different characters. You get Jeffery, you get Beth, and you get Marcus. And so you kind of see through their eyes all that is happening and what's going on around them. And then there's also some mystery surrounding each one of them as well that you figure out throughout the reading of the book.
And so the mystery is a character named Sabine who goes missing. So Marcus is the detective who is on the case to find her, while Beth and Jeffery are other minor characters that have this little kind of suspicious thing going on. Are they who they are? Are they who they are? It's just so much going on throughout the different characters' lives that you really find different ways to connect them all.
Yeah.
And it might not even be true.
Yeah.
So lots of twists, lots of surprises. It's such a good book.
It is an incredible book. And basically you get to hear from one woman's perspective, which is Beth, who is someone who is running away from a previous life, from a violent husband. And you figure that out in the first part of Beth's story. So that's not a spoiler whatsoever. She is on the run. She is trying to do all sorts of tricks and turns and lead her husband on a wild goose chase because she knows he's going to come looking for her. And Jeffery is Sabine's husband. And so he is somebody who people don't look at in the most positive of ways, and so they start suspecting him as having something to do with Sabine's disappearance. And it's just a very intriguing look into the lives of these different people, into the marriages, into what happens in a domestic situation where you wouldn't normally see it. And it felt so real. You get so connected to these characters. It was hard not to see them as real people and to get frustrated with them and to cheer them on and to want them to share their story.
Mm-hmm. So what was your expectation, just looking at the book cover, reading the synopsis? What did you get from all of that at first?
My first impression of it was that we were going to have two women that were on the run, that there would be a twist that they were together or that they were the same person, that it would be something deeper than just what we were given from the synopsis. Because the synopsis does a great job of just giving you a little bit of what the book is about, and then it just kind of lets your mind take over. And I would say this is a really strong description for a book as well.
Yes. And I like the description because it doesn't give away too much, but it gives it away just enough for you to make your own conclusions throughout the book.
Yeah.
You are second guessing every single decision that you've made previously in the last chapter.
Oh.
You're like, wait, is that person related to that person? Is that the person we're trying to find? Oh my God, my mind was going crazy.
Yeah.
Probably halfway through the book of what could happen. And I love that about this book is because it starts off strong. You're guessing, you're making assumptions immediately. And then halfway through the book, the assumptions get a little bit more clearer.
Yeah.
And then you switch perspective. And at the very end, it's like, everything just wraps up so nicely.
Yeah, it really does. And we always say that when we're reading a book, why are we dropped into the world at this moment? Why are we in this life of Beth in the middle of her running away? We're not quite there yet. We're about we're 24 hours into her escape, but we don't see the leading up part. We don't see the violence firsthand. We're dropped into her life in the middle of it. We're dropped into Jeffery and Sabine and Marcus's life at the very start of Sabine's disappearance.
Yeah.
And so it's one of those things where we ask ourselves, why are we in here?
Why?
And Kimberly does such a great job at explaining why she chose this point in time. The writing is phenomenal. The storytelling is just gripping. I seriously, already have talked about it, couldn't put it down.
Yeah.
It just locked me in so much. Yeah. And so I feel like Kimberly taking us on this journey for the part that she chose to put us in these characters' lives made it so much more effective, so much stronger, and just made the message even clearer for us.
Yes. So after I was done this book, I really thought to myself, yes, this is a predictable story in a sense. Like halfway through, I was like, oh, I really think I have a good idea of what this is.
Yeah.
You know, I did doubt myself, but I was very strong in my convictions of like what this story or how the story was going to be played out. However, when I was finished with it, I didn't just sit there and say, oh, that was predictable. No, that wasn't my response. My response was, this was such a well thought out, put together book that even if I predicted it halfway through, I still loved it. And I appreciated the journey that Kimberly Belle took us on. And everything was just put together so nicely. And I can't say that enough. I was so impressed by the quality of the writing and just the content of the story. Oh my God. The character development. Oh, the character development.
Oh my God. The character development was unlike any other that I think we've seen from a Kimberly Belle book.
Yes.
So we have read a couple things from her. The Marriage Lie was our first, and then 3 Days Missing we actually got the arc for last year, but we had no idea what to do with it.
We were like, what do you do with this? What do you do with this?
What do you do? Supposed to read? We listened. But we went into each of those books, not any knowledge of what the character was going to be like, but by the time we started the book, the character didn't go through too many extreme changes. They mainly just stayed the same and were smart and intelligent the entire time. And I feel like with Beth, she is almost like way more relatable.
Yeah.
And it was so cool to see her growth from the beginning, where she is just not weak, because that seems like a bad word to use for a domestic violence survivor, but just someone who doubts herself.
Yes.
She is constantly just telling herself she's not good enough because she hears her husband's voice, and by the end,
you just see this strong, independent, intelligent, brave woman.
Yeah.
And she's ready to fight.
Yes.
She is ready to fight. This actually did remind me a little bit of Enough. Jennifer Lopez's Enough.
Oh, yeah.
I was like,
Even the
okay.
haircut.
I was like, okay.
Yeah.
I was like, I've always wanted a book about Enough.
Yes.
And now we have it. But I think this was done more delicately.
Yeah.
With different stories and different perspectives. Because in Enough, you didn't really get the detective's perspective.
Yeah.
You didn't get the husband's perspective.
You only got hers.
You only got Jennifer Lopez's. And in this one, you get everyone's. And I really thought that was so well done.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. And the characters, like the Jeffery and Marcus and Ingrid and my girl Martina.
Mm-hmm.
So many good, solid characters.
And even though in the middle, like you said, that it was predictable, when we got to that twist, there was a whole entire other twist that we didn't see coming. So like at the middle, we could kind of figure out, not even at the middle, I would say like 3/4 of the way through, we could kind of be like, okay, so this is what's happening. This is who these people are. Like, we get them. We understand them. We get it. Because there was such a gradual building of who these people are. But then there was a separate part of it that I didn't even think of. That just came when Beth was sitting in a hotel room looking on Facebook.
Yeah.
And I was like, are you kidding me? I did not... It broke my heart, honestly.
Yes.
Like,
yes.
it just...
There was also another part where, or there's this defining part of when I truly got the twist. And I love that in a book where you can even remember the word. Remember the exact location in the book of when you realize that twist. And Dear Wife has that. In the very end, this character announces, oh, that's not like something from another character's perspective that you didn't know that were related. And I was just like, oh my god. Yeah,
you got it. It was a light bulb.
It made me like just want to get a drink. I said, do I want vodka? Yes.
Do you want olives?
And I said, do I want olives? And I said, yes.
Do you want them in the same jar?
Yes. Shaken, not stirred, honey. Shaken, not stirred. And this book just made me want to drink, really.
Kimberly, that is not a negative. It is only said with love.
So good. So good.
With feta cheese?
Yes, feta cheese olives.
With feta cheese?
Yep, not sponsored.
You make some choices.
Thanks. But that's how good this book was!
It was really good. You want to drink feta cheese olives. So obviously this book met and exceeded our expectations, like every Kimberly Belle book. And I mean, like, Kimberly is very dear to us.
Yes, dear wife.
Dear wife. We would say if it wasn't a book that we loved, like we would just, if there was anything with it.
Yeah, like we're not saying we love this book just because we love Kimberly Belle. We really truly love this book.
Yeah.
You have not finished a book that quickly in so long.
No. Yeah. No, I don't read speedily.
Yeah.
At all. And so to finish this book in a matter of hours was something that shocked myself.
If this book becomes a movie,
yeah,
I was also casting.
Who did you cast?
And I actually sent Kimberly Belle some pictures of people on Twitter that I would think that would be good. So there's a character in the book. I don't want to butcher her name. Ayana.
Yeah. Okay.
So if you ever seen the show Claws, there is a... Oh my god, so good. There's a character on there. She's very young. She's the young one in the group. And I don't know her name, but she is the person that I imagined as Ayana. And I sent it to Kimberly and she was just like, pretty right on. And I was like, yes! So I had to look up her name. Then for Marcus.
Yeah.
So another TV show actor. I don't know his name. I think his name is Patrick. But he plays a detective on Chicago PD. Detective Rusick. Oh my god. If you ever watch the show, Detective Rusick.
I do not.
He is who I imagined Marcus to be.
Okay.
Those are the only two.
Alright. Jeffrey, I kind of saw as being like Leonardo DiCaprio at his absolute worst.
Yeah.
At his heaviest.
Yeah.
Probably when he was doing that, like, the airplane movie.
Aviator?
Aviator, yes. Probably then. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sabine, I see as being, like a... What is her name? Somebody beautiful.
Was she blonde? I kept getting blonde in my head.
Yeah, same.
Just imagine this moment in time will be deleted.
Who are actresses? Why can we never think of these things? I would obviously choose Tatiana Maslany as Beth, though.
Oh, yeah.
Like, she's our Matt Balmer for female.
Yes. Who is a good female blonde? Like,
oh, I wonder if, like, Rose Byrne.
Rose Byrne as Sabine.
Yeah.
Yes.
She's so pretty, and that's how she was described.
And she does lots of accents.
Uh-huh.
Who else we just... Tatiana Maslany.
Yes, for Beth.
For Beth. Rose Byrne as Sabine.
And a fugly Leonardo DiCaprio for Jeffery.
And knowing Leo, he could be method.
Yeah.
He could totally do method acting. Get a little chunky.
Yeah, we've seen him chunks.
We've seen him chunky monkey.
Yeah.
Leonardo DiCaprio.
So anyway.
So please, go pick up this book.
Yeah.
It comes out June 25th. That's like next week.
That at this point would be 5 days away.
5 days away!
Yep.
And you really do need to pick it up. It is about 336 pages.
Yeah.
Beautiful pages. Cover is just so eloquent. And you really think it's going to be something fancy with them pearls.
Yeah.
But
it's violent, scary, it's thrilling,
yes.
It's domestic suspense.
Also the diversity. There is I don't want to ruin it because that's going to be a spoiler, but there's a different type of character that you don't often see in Kimberly Belle books.
Which, when the one character interacted with that character, it really ticked me off.
It really did tick me off, but I think that was the whole idea.
That was the point.
That was the point of us hating
this character
so much. I just wanted to punch him in the face.
Which, for a domestic violence book, is probably not the best thing to say. Mm-hmm. But, whatever.
But he, was not a nice character.
No, he was not. So I think that about does it for our discussion of Dear Wife. We have already told you to go get it. If you have never experienced a Kimberly Belle book, please pick up all of her books. She has so many of them, and The Marriage Lie is going to be a TV show, so it's going to be phenomenal and awesome, and you should totally fall in love with her.
Perfect summer read.
Yes. And also, if you want to stay up to date with all that we are releasing and doing, please follow us on all of our various social medias. We are on Twitter at AudioShelfMe, Facebook at AudioShelf, Instagram at AudioShelf_podcast. We are also on Patreon. If you want to help our show grow in a monetary investment, you can Google search AudioShelf Patreon. Go to that page.
And don't forget to subscribe to our channel so you can get up-to-date notifications on when our episodes are going to be released.
And hit that little bell as well.
So until next time, bye!